Hello, and welcome to the first new episode of Dan's Solo Gaming in quite some time. Several years, I think. Well, not several, a couple of years anyway. But yeah, I have some games that I'd like to do on this show, and I figured it was time to finally get around to some of them. I would also like to do more Final Girl episodes, which have been some of my biggest videos in terms of number of hits that I've done in general. Not for that reason necessarily, but just because it's a great game, and there's actually quite a few scenarios in the Season 2 and Season 3 boxes that I haven't even played yet on my own, let alone on video, so I'd like to do some of those. But I've also recently picked up a bunch of single-player role-playing games, single-player, single-session role-playing games, and I thought I would do some of those on here too, so you can see what they're all about, and hopefully, if they look interesting to you, check them out for yourself. So yeah, the first one I'm going to do today is Void 1680 AM by Ken Lowry, solo playlist building game. This is from Bannerless Games, and you can see the website address right there. So if you're interested in picking this up, you can check it out that way. But yeah, this is a playlist building role-playing game where basically as the game goes on, you build up a playlist for your fictional radio station. And then ideally you actually end up then making a recording of your fictional broadcast. And this especially appealed to me because this is actually something I did like when I was a very little kid. When I was very small, I had a... I think it was a Gold Star radio. It was like a hand-me-down from my parents. But it was like an AM/FM radio with a tape deck, and it actually had a microphone on it, so you could actually record stuff. And when I was a kid, I actually made my my own radio shows that way. Like I would actually, I would do like the imaging stuff. I would do like the DJ stuff. I was the space cowboy, of course, and then I would actually like hold up the microphone to the speakers on my mom's stereo, my parents' stereo, and actually like record the songs on it. And believe it or not, I'm not going to play it on this, but maybe as like a special feature on my channel sometime. I will play it at some point. I actually have 2 cassette tapes here that survived. There may well be others somewhere that I haven't found. But anyway, here is one of the surviving tapes from those radio shows I made as a kid. This is the Rad Hour by Dan the Space Cowboy. I'm not sure the exact year I made this, but it's probably no later than 1990. I'm probably, I don't know, about 7-ish years old, somewhere around there, which would have been 1990. So yeah, this has been around a while, not listened to in a long time, so I don't know exactly what all happened on this episode of my show, The Rad Hour, but there it is. And then there is this other tape. I haven't actually played this yet either, but this one just labeled Stuff. And nothing on the other side, but I think this might be another episode of my radio show from when I was a kid. So yeah, I'll have to play these at some point. Now, as far as the broadcast that we'll be building in this game, I will record it actually on a piece of equipment I have just off camera, which I will show momentarily. I will then play it at the end of the video. Of course, the big asterisk there is because, of course, this is YouTube, I won't be able to actually play the songs on it. So what I'll do, like maybe I'll see if I can get away with the first couple of notes of the song, and then I'll blank it out. But I will build the playlist on Spotify. Hi, Tabby. I'll build the playlist out on Spotify, and I'll put a link to it on screen and in the notes down below, the show description. So you can click the link down there and actually hear the songs along with my fictional broadcast. So anyway, we'll take a quick look at the introduction in the book here. So again, this is, as Tabby walks by again, this is Void 1680 AM by Ken Lowry. won several awards, it looks like. I'm not too familiar with the kind of awards that are given for solo RPGs, because this is kind of a new genre that I'm just kind of getting into now. But yeah, this certainly seems to be popular, and I know there's some other, like, I almost said Let's Play, which wouldn't be what I suppose you'd call a playthrough video for a tabletop paper and pencil game. But yeah, there are some other gameplay videos on YouTube of this. I've watched and listened to a few of them already. So yeah, it seems to be pretty popular as these kind of games go, and well received. So, I'll read the intro here. Let us be the first to say congratulations on your acquisition of an AM transmitter and mast tower. With this simple but powerful technology, you can stake your claim on the dial and share a little bit of yourself with the whole world. But why AM radio? In these modern times, it's true, FM has the sunnier reputation. It's powerful, it's clear, it goes for miles and miles. But the FM band is narrow and highly competitive, and inevitably what airs on it is more commercial. There is no one author on the FM dial. Each playlist, each talk segment is carefully focused to appeal to anyone who tunes in, which is true. Around where I live, it's mostly, corporate radio on FM. There's a couple of notable exceptions. There's 100.1 WDST Radio Woodstock, which is independent, and there's WKZE 98.1 out of Red Hook, New York. I actually interviewed for a job there once, years and years ago. Not an on-air job, just an office job. But like my thought when I applied was, maybe I could transition into an on-air role, but it was not to be. I didn't get that job. But anyway, it was cool to interview there anyway. But yeah, they're a very independent station and play some really cool stuff. And they actually have maybe I'll throw this in the description too, just for fun. But yeah, they have an online feed that you can listen to. I actually have discovered a lot of music through that station. But anyway, going back to the intro, not AM. On the AM band, you can find voices expressing what they must express at any cost, sharing what they love or dislike, because that is the end point of their revelatory process. It's basically like YouTube, isn't it? There are no committees on AM. There are only lone voices in the darkness saying what they cannot contain, seeking connection with like minds, voices like yours. In these pages, you will learn the basics of broadcasting, building playlists, and communicating with your callers. And while you may form connections with these people, those connections will be as fleeting as your transmission. Nothing is as profound and yet as impermanent as a life spent on the airwaves. You will speak, but you will never know who hears you. You will bare your soul, but you will never know who, if anyone, is truly listening. This is as it should be. The true revelation of broadcasting on the AM dial is that the process itself it is the process itself that you must grow to love. Fulfillment will only come from within. So this then goes through kind of the basics of gameplay, what exactly it is, and also the equipment you need for it. So as far as the equipment, we need one 6-sided die. So I have a nice bin here, and I'll just kind of grab one at random. Let's go with this nice blue one here. I don't know what that one's from. It's the only blue one in there, I think. Alright, so we have our die. We need a playlist builder, which I'll use Spotify for that, and that's actually on the very phone that I'm recording this on right now. And we need a voice recorder. So I have this nice piece of equipment I recently picked up used, which should work pretty well for that purpose. And I actually have a new old stock TDK 60-minute tape. So yeah, brand new cassette tape. Hopefully that'll work for what we need. And I'll actually then probably save it for posterity, as well as, putting it on YouTube. And then we need a deck of cards. We'll go with the Back to the Future bicycle set. And it's actually not listed here, but I'll also use a notebook and a pen. So I think that is everything we need to start the game. So, as far as preparing the deck of cards, you remove the jokers and separate out the face cards into one deck, then separate the numbered suits into their own decks. Clubs, diamonds, spades, hearts, these will be your caller deck and playlist decks, respectively. Alright, so I'll fast forward as I do this. So here's the jokers, get rid of those. This is a as yet unused deck, so that actually will make it easy to separate out the face cards and the numbered cards. Okay, so we're back. As far as beginning the game goes, we find our wavelength. Rare is the radio program without a theme. Perhaps you report on local news and play local artists to support the community you find yourself on the fringes of, or maybe you play only the strangest, rarest finds and discuss similarly strange and rare topics with your callers. Maybe you highlight a specific genre, decade, or mood. The best advice is to find the thing that compels you and lean into it. That's compels, not satisfies. The stuff of infinite broadcast does not come from complacency or a feeling of enough. This simple truth unites disparate interests and outputs of the punk DJ, the outlaw country enthusiast, and the conspiracy theorist alike. Consider your station. There is one last detail, you and where you broadcast from. Are you broadcasting from your garage in the suburbs, from a shed in the countryside, from a mountain? Do you broadcast in the dead of night or the middle of the day? Go with your hunches here, don't overthink it. You are free to discuss as much or as little of your own circumstances as you like on the air. After all, it's your show. But consider that what these circumstances and how you got to them say about you, your choices, your motivations, and your potential audience. As before, lean into hunches. Alright, so as far as my station goes, my gut instinct is that I'm like a late night show that kind of is, again, I'm kind of thinking of stations like WKZE, where it's very free form and it really kind of comes down to just whatever the DJ feels like playing at any given time. So that's my hunch, not really to have a specific genre that I'm limiting it to. Like in the future, I would like to go back and play this and do, maybe like my version of, I don't know, Hair Nation on Sirius or something like that. Like pick a specific genre, like in that case, hair metal, which I'm a bit of an enthusiast for, admittedly. But yeah, I think for this one it'll be free form. I'll try to pick like interesting stuff that may not be, frequently heard on the radio. So yeah, we'll just call my station. This is gonna be real creative. WDAN, late night, with Space Cowboy Dan. I'll use my handle from when I was like 7 years old. Why not, right? In fact, let's get rid of late night. I'll go with my old show name too, Rad Hour. All right, so yeah, Rad Hour with Space Cowboy Dan, broadcast late at night, and it's just whatever I feel like playing. That sounds good to me. Yeah, we'll go with that. So yeah, nice little tribute to the past there, right? Okay, so now let's begin. Typical night's programming. Here we outline a full turn in Void 1680 AM, consisting of a song block of 3 songs and your chatter before and after those songs play. This manual goes into further detail on each block in the following pages, but this basic formula illustrates the flow of each turn. Draw 3 cards from that song's block suit. Pick the songs for each card and cue them up in your player of choice. Hit record, introduce the first song, stop recording. Play the songs, listen to them, consider the questions posed with them, if any. As you do, draw your caller card. Consult when a stranger calls to sketch out the identity of your caller and the contents of your conversation with them. When the songs finish, hit record and backsell them as much or as little as you like. Talk about your conversation with the caller as much or as little as you like, then pause your recording and start again with the next song block suit. For the purposes of this, doing it on video and stuff, my thought is that I'll kind of like outline, my song picks for all 4 blocks, and then I'll record the whole thing afterwards. To me, that seems a bit more organic anyway, like to, record it as if I'm really on the air. So, yeah, I think I'll do it that way, to kind of tweak the rules a little bit, I guess. But anyway. All right, so our first broadcast is the clubs suit. So the first song block consists of 3 songs drawn from the suit of clubs. These songs are your thesis statement, a declaration of your show's tone and depth. They are also typically, but not necessarily, higher energy. So they're kind of getting into like playlist building theory, kind of, the whole idea that's actually outlined in like the movie High Fidelity about building playlists, where you want to like start strong, but not necessarily the strongest, highest energy song first. Like your first song is kind of like the introduction to the playlist. Song 2 is kind of like the high energy killer song, and then you dial it back with a slower number for the third. That kind of thing. I used to be pretty good at like doing mixtapes and stuff for various purposes. Alright, so shuffle your clubs deck and draw 3 cards. Read the prompts on the next page based on the cards you drew. Pick the first song that comes to mind for each and arrange them in any order you like. With your music cued, it's time to go live. Clear your throat, sip a drink, hit record, and begin. Introduce yourself and the show. Alright, so clubs. We have 10, 2, and 6. Okay. The one alteration I will make to the order of things, again, I think maybe I will actually record this in, record each suit part as we go. But I think I will draw the stranger card just at the beginning, the caller card. I don't think that really will make a big difference anyway, but, that way we'll know what we're getting. So, anyway, we have the King of Spades, which is Doc Brown there. Alright, so I'll set that aside. So yeah, we'll put that here, and then, I'll just put these, we can reorder the songs after we pick them, but, 2, the new obsession, the song you listen to every day right now. Why do you think it's resonating? Okay, so do that. 6 is a song about a dream, a goal, or an aspiration, realistic or whimsical. What does it make you aspire to be? And then 10 is the sleaziest song you love. Is it liberating or a dirty secret? Let's see. All right, so for new obsession, there's a lot of songs that I've kind of recently been playing a lot. I'm not a lot that I, keep kind of listening to lately, but, yeah, I'm going to say Dead Gods by Vision Video is a good pick for that one. I've been playing that one a lot lately. I actually need to listen to more of that band in general, but they play like kind of like almost 80s goth rock style. Like it wouldn't sound out of place on a compilation with like Bauhaus and stuff like that. So yeah, I dig that song quite a bit, and yeah, so I'll put Dead Gods by Vision Video. Song about a dream or an aspiration, realistic or whimsical. I don't think there's any better pick for this one than Carry On Wayward Son by Kansas, right? And that's like a killer, like, opening song for any playlist. You know, just the intro of that gets you fired up. Son. And of course, you can all see just how crappy my handwriting really is. Sleaziest song. I mean, again, I have a soft spot for hair metal / glam rock / sleaze rock / butt rock, you know, 80s stuff like that. But with that being said, the sleaziest song I love, I'm going to pick it out of left field, unless you're part of a certain fan base, and in that case, it probably is going to be one of the first things you think of too. I'm going to pick Billy Gunn's theme song from WWE, from when he was Mr. Ass, Ass Man by Jim Johnson. All right, so yeah, that's that's the beginning of the list, and definitely Carry On Wayward Son is number one. We'll put Vision Video 2, and we'll put Ass Man 3. For a weirdo playlist, I don't think you want to lead with Ass Man. So, yeah, we'll put that in the third slot. All right, so let's see about our caller here. I think we have to go to another page to get info on that. Yeah, when a stranger calls. All right, caller ID. During each song block, someone will call in to talk with you, or at the very least talk at you. People who call into radio shows to talk are acting on a strong, simple need to be heard, no matter by who. In that way, you are very alike. To begin the sketch of your conversation with the caller, draw a face card. And we drew a king of spades. So the king is an elder, middle-aged, or older. Next, determine if they're calling in because one of the songs you're playing, calling in because of one of the songs you're playing in this block. If the caller's card has the same suit as your song block, they're calling about something you've played, which is not the case. This was the we did the I guess it was the same. So yeah, this was the spades block, right? Oh, I see what happened. I actually accidentally used the spades deck. It doesn't matter. We'll use. All right. So yeah, we'll say we were supposed to use clubs for the first block. I don't think it really matters. We'll use spades for where it says clubs and such. But for the purposes of this, I think we'll say that, you know, we'll assume that these were clubs instead of spades because that's what we were supposed to be using for that block. So yeah, we'll say that it matched the block's suit. So he's calling for, Doc Brown here is calling for something about the songs I played. If their suit matches the next song block, they're calling to make a request. If it's up to you to honor their request. If you do, roll 1d6 and select something based on the table below. This song should be outside your comfort zone, but can still be on theme for the night. If the caller's suit does not match the current or next song block, they have no attachment to the music, they just want to talk to someone. Okay, so we're not doing a request this time. He's calling in to talk about something I just played. So, spades, based on the caller's card suit, roll the 1d6 to determine the subject matter they called in to talk about. All right, so Should have gotten a dice cup of some kind, shouldn't I have? I'll put a quick, they're downstairs. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. We'll do that. So we got a 1. So our caller is quiet and melancholy, and his mood is he's calling about romance, blooming, or evolving. I feel like we could do something fun with this guy and the Ass Man song. I'll have to think about exactly how to play that up, but yeah, we'll say Ass Man reminds him of somebody he has a crush on, and we'll have him get creepy from there. So yeah, I'll mark that down for now on my notes. All right, so that is our first block done. So yeah, let's move to the second. We'll get rid of. Okay, so diamonds, the second song block. I'll get the right suit here. There's our diamonds. I'll shuffle them as I'm reading this. In general, the songs in the second block increase the intensity of the playlist, building towards an emotional climax. This doesn't necessarily mean the songs have to be faster or louder. Think emotional intensity, which is not always expressed with volume. Shuffle your diamonds, draw 3 cards, or 2 if your previous caller made a request that you're honoring. Read the prompts on the next page, pick the first song that comes to mind for each, and arrange them in any order you like. With your music cued, it's time to go live again. And that basically plays out the same way as the remainder of the first song block. All right, so we will draw another 10, another 2, and a 9. Okay, so we didn't exactly get the same result, but close to it. And then I'll go ahead and draw the caller card too. So give these a quick shuffle here. All right, so we have the Jack of Hearts. Okay, the Marty McFly out of the Enchantment Under the Sea there. That's the Jack. All right, so we'll set the diamonds aside. All right, so I'll actually go to the next. I'll do like 1 page in my notebook for each block. This is, I think, a mostly unused notebook. I thought it was completely unused, but there are a few remnants of a page having been ripped out, stuck in the spiral. But it had been like in the bottom of a box for probably a number of years, so the spiral is a little bit flattened on it. Anyway, a song you listen to psych yourself up for a big moment. When has it worked? So hype for big moment. I think I have a pick in mind for that already. You're at the beach. What are you listening to? Is it chill or does it get you fired up? So I'll just put beach for that one. And 10 is a song that makes you feel sexy or cool. What kind of scenarios this could be risky business. What kind of scenarios do you imagine yourself in when you listen to it? Okay. So we'll hang on to the caller card. We'll put him up here. All right, so hype up for a big moment. This is actually one of my top picks for, like, if I was a wrestler, what I would want for my entrance music. When the Dragon Lies Bleeding by Hammerfall. Kind of power metal, Hammerfall, like all of their songs are about, like, you know, riding into battle and fighting dragons and stuff like that, you know. It's great Dungeons and Dragons music. But yeah, The Dragon Lies Bleeding is one of my picks for, like, my entrance music if I was a wrestler. And, you know, it definitely gets you hyped up. I don't know if I can think of a specific instance where it has worked for me, but, yeah, that's my definite pick. Song at the Beach. I mean, like, Girl from Ipanema is, like, my first thought, and I mean, it's a wildly different genre than Hammerfall, but I mean, this is like a freeform radio, so why not? Stan Getz, Girl from Ipanema. Sexy or cool? Sexy or cool? I mean, like, for cool, I don't know, like, Way Cool Jr. by Rat. I don't know. Oh, I know. Again, wildly different. This is a weird song block, man. But I'm Your Boogeyman by Casey and the Sunshine Band. That's, you know, that's just the kind of song you picture yourself walking down the street, eating fruit and being cool, right? All right, so as far as the order goes, let's see, what was the last? So we played Ass Man last, so yeah, I feel like it would be like the least tonal whiplash would be to go I'm Your Boogeyman first in this song block. Then we'll go Hammerfall, and then we'll go Stan Getz. What is this, radio station? This is even more freeform than I was expecting it to be. Maybe I should have limited it to a specific genre, just for making it not weird. Alright, so we'll do the caller thing here. Alright, so what is the next? Third song block is Spades. So we drew with Jack of Hearts, so he does not match the next song block, which means he is, or she is calling not about a request, right? Yeah, and he also doesn't match that current song block, which was Diamonds. So yeah, he's just calling for no reason in particular, basically. So Jack is a young caller on the cusp of adulthood. Little punk. And Hearts, so we need to roll the die. There we go, that's a 5. Infatuation, innocent, or scandalous. Which seems like it could link easily to Girl from Ipanema, doesn't it? But yeah, what? We could do a funny story here. Like, this caller could be, like, the girl that the first guy had a crush on. Yeah, yeah, we could do something with that, I think. All right, so next song block. Song block 3 is Spades, which we accidentally used the Spades. So we'll use clubs here and say that it's Spades, basically. So yeah, we'll just fake it. So as I'm shuffling these, the third song block is often a bit of a come down to enter a more contemplative state, or if you prefer, a hangover. As always, follow your instincts and the momentum of your playlist to this point to help determine the tempo and tone of the songs you choose here. So once again, draw 3 cards. Yeah, and the rest is same format. All right, so not just going to draw the top ones this time. We'll do 3. I will take the top one, 7, and we'll take the last one, 6. And where did I put the face deck? We'll again draw the caller again in advance too. All right, King of Hearts. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that means it's going to be a request because Hearts is the 4th and last song block. So, 2 got stuck in there. All right, so let's see what we have here. Put them in order. 3, 6, and 7. So 3 is one of your R songs, something you shared with someone close to you. Who was it? Why this song? Oh boy, this could... yeah, this could get into some... repressed memories, couldn't it? Like, you know, songs from... X's and stuff like that. Ooh. You know, I don't think I want to think about that kind of stuff, but, you know, for a hypothetical wedding first dance song, one of my personal favorite, I mean, there's several. There's Yours by Blues Traveler, Grace Darling by Straubs. I'm gonna pick Grace Darling, I think. And I could change that because there's actually other Straubs songs that I could want for other categories, theoretically. Hi, Tab. It's summer, it's late, you have all the windows open and you're restless. What do you put on? And yeah, say I had a song that also makes you smile. I'll just all right, so I think for the saddest song that also makes me smile, my immediate thought, and this actually could have been like for the very first question, the very first song pick in the first block, the Current Obsession one, but I'll say What Really Matters by Ariel Silver, which I don't really know much about her, but that song was recently, I think like 3 episodes ago, was the weather on Welcome to Night Vale, and I thought it was a great song, and, you know, kind of does speak to that wistfulness. Like, there's a line about, like, letters from a lover that you should have long forgotten. That sort of general mood. So, what am I writing here? Restless Summer Night, I mean, it's kind of on the nose, I guess, but Summer Breeze, Seals and Crofts, maybe. I'll put that as a placeholder, maybe, but I don't know. I mean, if you lean into the restless aspect, you could get into, like, you know, something that's kind of like a more of a raw nerve type of song, like, you know, In the Air Tonight, or ooh, I thought of a good one. I mean, like Frankie Teardrop by Suicide is maybe a little too intense for this kind of radio show, but a song that's very much inspired by Frankie Teardrop is Bruce Springsteen, State Trooper. And, you know, that one is kind of like a late night raw nerve kind of song. So yeah, I'm going to put State Trooper by Springsteen. All right, so we closed the last block with Girl from Ipanema. I feel like the natural progression for at least two of these three, like State Trooper, doesn't really relate to the other two directly in a way I can think of. But I think if you kind of go from like more of a gentle mood from Girl of Ipanema to another gentler song, we'll put Grace Darling. That's like, you know, an R song kind of pick, and then like a post-breakup song, we'll do What Really Matters, and then maybe we can lead State Trooper into something in the next block. So yeah, this is fun, man. I'm enjoying this. So yeah, where did I put my caller? There, I threw the wrong card away. There we go. Okay, so our caller is the King of Hearts. So we'll go to our callers bit here. So he's going to be making a request, since that is the, so it's another middle-aged dude. It could be the first guy again, maybe, but this time he's calling back to make a request. We'll think about that, but yeah, so if he is making a request, it's up to you to determine whether to honor it. If you do, roll 1d6 and pick something based on the table below, the request table. All right, so we'll go with it. Okay, so number 2 is an old standard, a cliche you haven't listened to in years. So we'll think about that as we build out our next song list here. And there's a cat on the table. Probably not on camera, but you can see her shadow as she goes past. There she goes. Okay, so we'll make that one of the 3 songs for the next block. So we'll only draw 2 cards from our Hearts deck. Alright, so the 4th song block is the conclusion of your broadcast day. As you draw cards and pick your songs, consider how they respond to or play off your previous selections. If the first block is a thesis statement, what final songs? Thank you, Tabby. What final songs make good on that promise? Consider how your favorite musical acts conclude their concerts. Some like Lingering Melancholy or Moments of Quiet Beauty. Others like to blow the roof off with one final all or nothing push. By now, you likely know how you want to go out. This, theoretically, if I can fit it in, like if I have an opportunity for a song to sign off, I have a pick from Straub's, which would mean I would actually change the R song pick. I'd probably go with Yours by Blues Traveler off of Straight On Till Morning, their 5th album. But we'll see what happens. So we're just drawing 2 cards because we have the request. So we have a 10 and a 7. And we'll pick the caller here too. So I'll just pick a card from the middle. A 9. How'd that get in there? We'll pick a card from the middle. Okay, Queen of Hearts. It's Lorraine. Which Back to the Future had only the second most awkward almost love scene that Leah Thompson had in the 80s, and she also had a love scene with Howard the Duck. I mean, in Back to the Future, it was supposed to be her own son, but at least he was human. I don't know, actually, that might still be worse than the Duck, now that I think about it. Anyway, alright, so number 7 is a song from a band you hid from your parental figure. Were you right to, or was it kind of silly? Band hid from parents. And number 10, you've been out all night and the sun is rising. What song reinvigorates you for the day? All right, this is a tough selection. Let me think on all of these. So, band hid from parental figures. I don't know if I really have any of those because my parents were not really concerned with what I was listening to all that much. I'm sure there was plenty they didn't like, but you know, there wasn't like any kind of satanic panic angle or anything. So, Well, let's do the request first. An old standard. I'm thinking, not necessarily not like an old standard in the sense of like American songbook type stuff, but just kind of standard issue call-in requests. So yeah, I'm thinking we'll say it's the first guy calling back after the girl he had a crush on called. Nobody understands him, so let's do Behind Blue Eyes by The Who. Reinvigorates for the morning. I pick it's more of a travel song, like specifically about traveling by rail, but this is actually this song wasn't on Welcome to Night Vale, but the artist is actually how I discovered the artist, Squaloscope. She has a song called Zephyr, which is about traveling by train, like as in the California Zephyr, the train that goes from Chicago to, I think, San Francisco. That ends in that line. But anyway, I assume that's where the title came from. But yeah, it is like kind of like traveling to new possibilities, I'm kind of thinking of, and it has a great line about staring at the scenery, not remembering what cities are for. I love that line. Yeah, it's a quieter song, but it's kind of, I could see it as being like invigorating yourself for a new day of moving forward, whether physically moving forward in travel or not. So we'll say Zephyr or Zephyr, Squaloscope. Band hid from parental figures. Again, that just isn't really in my personal experience. I mean, it's not that I hid them, but I just wasn't really into like gangsta rap in the early '90s. I was probably too young for it, but I just didn't get into it at the time. So it's not that it was like, hidden from parental figures, but pick something by, one of the rap acts of the time. I don't know. I'm thinking like just my first offhand thought is like I don't know. I could do like something from Wu-Tang. They're always cool. I don't know. Well, let's do Juicy by Biggie. I like that one. Of course, it's every gamer's favorite rap song too, because Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. When I was dead broke, man, I couldn't picture this. But yeah, we'll do Juicy by Biggie here. Okay, so yeah, this is a very weird playlist, but it's freeform radio, so that's par for the course, really. So we'll close with Zephyr. We'll put Biggie up front in this block, and then we'll do the request Behind Blue Eyes. Like I feel like that's kind of a good order. One last higher energy song. That also kind of speaks to, aspirations and, I mean, Juicy is kind of like a rags to riches story that the song tells. It's like Biggie, he came from nothing and now he has enough money that he can have Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis at the same time, which was every kid's dream. So yeah, it's still an aspirational song. Actually, in that regard, maybe I should put Behind Blue Eyes first, because that's, you know, a little bit more wistful. And, you know, I figured the guy requests it because he kind of relates it to nobody understanding him. The girl he likes doesn't understand him. So we'll actually put Behind Blue Eyes first. Then we'll do Juicy. Then we'll do Zephyr as our closing song. So, yeah, this is an interesting block, I think. But anyway, we have one last caller, the Queen of Hearts. The Queen is an established adult somewhere in their 20s to 40s. So kind of key demo, I guess. And what are they doing? So we don't have, it's not a request because our show is over now. They have no attachment to the music. They just want to call to have someone to talk to. So for Heart, we'll roll a die here. That is a 3. Family, growing by 1 or reduced by 1. Okay, I think I have an idea. Like, it's somebody who they will kind of play on, like, the previous caller, the Nobody Understands Me guy that gets rejected by the girl who reminded him of Ass Man from Billy Gunn's theme song. So he's rejected by her. He calls in again. Nobody understands me. All of that. So this last caller, we'll say she because we drew the Queen of Hearts. She's calling in because she just also went through a breakup and just wants to talk about that. And then I'll play like Zephyr for her as the last song, even though it's not a request. But I'll play that for her as, like, you know, keep moving forward. Keep, you know. It might not be the same, you might end up in a new place, but you're still moving forward. So, after... And I actually didn't mark down the caller. Okay. All right. So I think we have a pretty fun radio show here. And again, I will put the link for the actual songs in a Spotify playlist. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and record this. I have my tape. I have my recorder here, which is working. So let me unwrap this on camera, and then I'll turn it off. I'll go ahead and record it, and then I'll play my recording at the end. So I'll say in advance. Well, I'll cut this. All right, so man, I haven't opened one of these in a long time. I don't think TDK makes cassettes anymore. I don't think they stopped making them all that long ago, so I don't actually know how old this new old stock cassette tape is. But man, they wrap these things tight. I forgot that. I haven't opened one of these in years and years. Come on. So yeah, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna record this. I'll build out the playlist on Spotify, and I'll really play it like live. Like I'll record the whole thing. Like I'll you know, actually have the songs on the tape. I'm not gonna be able to play those in the video, but I'll have a link to the songs. But yeah, so this is a 60-minute tape, so it should be 30 per side. So we'll open this up. All right, so yeah, batteries are working. All right, so I will be back with the first episode of Rad Hour since probably 1989, 1990, somewhere around there. So yeah, I'll be back. And done. All right, so I have the recording in the bag here, in the can, however you want to phrase it. Actually, I should fast forward that. I'm not expecting very good sound quality on this because, you know, it's recorded on a 30-plus-year-old tape recorder with just an external microphone on a new old stock tape of indeterminate age. The music, which you won't be able to hear on YouTube anyway, that will be played off of a cell phone and recorded through said speaker, and then played and recorded back on the same cell phone. So again, I'm not expecting the sound quality to be all that good, but I don't know, I kind of feel like that actually would suit the whole concept here. So anyway, as far as Void 1680 AM goes, there are a few last pages at the end here. I'll just show them real quick. There is kind of a rule set for continuing your story. So if you want to do another episode with like the same characters, which I might do at some point. I might actually do this as like a sub-series, you know, pick up with the same station and the same show and stuff, because I really enjoyed this. So yeah, there are rules to do like continuing broadcasts with the same story. I'll definitely play it, you know, with other stories too and other concepts for stations. There's also instructions in the back. Apparently Ken Lowry, the creator, apparently really has an AM station, and you can actually send your recording into him and he'll play it on the air for whatever reach his station has. And there's also, I guess you can actually like record caller messages for other people to play with as well. So yeah, some cool stuff. So yeah, I really enjoyed playing this. I'll do it again, certainly off camera. I may do it again on camera at some point, but yeah, that's Void 1680 AM. I actually bought this as part of a bundle from Tabletop Bookshelf, which is a seller for, you know, this kind of pen and paper role-playing game kind of stuff, solo and otherwise. But Void 1680 AM actually came in a Bannerless Games / Ken Lowry bundle. So that came with 2 other games that I'll try out, probably, you know, on camera at some point. But we have Lighthouse at the End of the World and a mystery game, No Tell Motel. So I'll do them at some point. I also have several other game books here that I'd like to try, including You Are a Muffin, which is exactly what it sounds like. I have In Runes, which is a dungeon builder. Galatia, which is kind of like a play on being a masterpiece brought to life. Legendary, and Carved by the Garden. So some, maybe all, but at least some of those others I'll at some point try to do videos on as well. But yeah, Void 1680, this was a lot of fun. Great journaling game. It really kind of makes you think about the songs you're picking. So I had a great time. So I'm going to sign off there. Last part of the video will be the actual audio from the tape, so you can hear what I came up with for my quote-unquote broadcast. And again, the songs you will not be able to hear on YouTube, you know, copyright issues, etc. But I have them as a playlist on Spotify, so I'll put the URL for that right here above my finger, so you should be able to see it right now. And I'll also put a clickable link for it down here in the description of the video, so check it out. And again, you can kind of, you know, listen to the recording of my part on the tape and then pause it and play the next song and, you know, go back and forth. It's not ideal, but it's what we have to work with, right? So anyway, this has been Dan's Solo Gaming, my tabletop gaming series, not to be confused with Dan Plays, which is my video game series. I'll do another one of these sometime soon. I'll do a video game sometime soon, hopefully, too, once I figure out a little bit more about how my new recording software works. But anyway, that's it for now. Hit like and subscribe. Have a good night. And stay tuned for my actual broadcast, the first rad hour since 1990. I'll actually put my 2 tapes side by side, just as a last closing note there. And maybe at some time I will do a video where I play this. I'll have to listen to it and see what's actually on this. Anyway, see you soon. Kittens out there in Radio Land. This is WDAN, and it's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for the Rad Hour. I'm the Space Cowboy, your host for the next hour of music and calls and who knows what else. Let's get to our first song. Tonight we're going to start out with something dedicated to people chasing a dream. It might be a bit of a cliche, but this is the kind of song that'll get you motivated. And anytime it's on a playlist, it always has to be the first one that you play. This, of course, is Carry On Wayward Son by Kansas. Carry on my way. That's one of those songs that doesn't need an introduction, isn't it? But surely, heaven waits for all of our listeners, whether it's the heaven of their own or someone else's making. At any rate, this is freeform radio, as I'm sure all of you are aware, since you're tuning in. And since it's freeform radio, I get to play whatever I want, or sometimes whatever you want. I do take requests. Right now I'm going to play a song that I've been playing quite a bit lately on my own time. Bit of a throwback to the 80s goth scene. This is Dead Gods. That was Vision Video, Dead Gods. We're going to change gears here a little bit. Go with something a little more fun. Anybody remember Badass Billy Gunn in WWE? Member of D-Generation X? Remember when he went out on his own and became Mr. Ass? Remember the theme song he had? Well, I'm going to play it right now. One of the great songs on the topic of asses. This is Ass Man, composed by Jim Johnson for WWE and Billy Gunn. I'm a nice man. The best surprises do indeed sneak up from behind. Surprises like our first caller of the night. Here on the Rad Hour. What can I do for you, brother or sister? Oh, hey man, yeah, I just wanted to call in because that ass song, that reminds me of this pretty little thing that I see behind the counter at the old 7-Eleven, you know? I'd really love to get the courage to talk to her and, you know, tell her how I feel, because, you know, she's real pretty. But, you know, I don't really know what to do. Well, brother, first thing I would suggest is, well, don't lead with telling her that you're an ass man. After that, you know, you just gotta, work up the courage to talk to her, just like you, called in to talk to me. In fact, we should probably play a song for you to, you know, give you a little motivation. Something that, will let the world know you're cool. So I think you're probably pretty cool, brother, and maybe that lady at the 7-Eleven will think so too. Who knows? Here's I'm Your Boogeyman, classic by Casey and the Sunshine Band. Nothing's cooler than walking down the street, blasting I'm Your Boogeyman from your boom box. But you know, sometimes the old space cowboy needs some personal motivation too, and what could be more motivating than riding into a glorious medieval battle? Here's The Dragon Lies Bleeding by Hammerfall. There's some metal motivation for you. But I think we should calm things down, relax, and think about warmer days, being out on the beach, Here is Stan Getz and Joao Gilberto with Astrid Gilberto on vocals. Another classic, The Girl from Ipanema. Girl from Ipanema. Just one of those classics that captures a certain feeling. Speaking of which, I've got a feeling that we've got another caller. Hey, you're on the Rat Hour. What can I do for you?
Hi, this is, the girl from the 7-Eleven that, I think that last guy was calling in about. I'm flattered that he has such a crush on me, but, the guy's kind of creepy. I mean, he wouldn't be so bad if he wasn't, always wearing those short shorts. I mean, for the love of God, why are they so short? Anyway, I just wanted to call in and, let him know that, thanks but no thanks.
I hear you, sister. Well, I guess, that's the end of that sad chapter, but, there's somebody out there for everybody. I'm sure Miss 7-Eleven will find a special someone, and I'm sure the short shorts guy, our first caller, I'm sure there's somebody out there that'll, wear short shorts with him. Let's go to a song from a past life of mine. A song that could be somebody's our song. It once was mine. This is Grace Darling. This is the acoustic version. The original by Straub's. The acoustic version by Straub's members, David Cousins and Brian Willoughby, off of their Old School Songs album that they released as a duo. This is Grace Darling. Dave Cousins and Brian Willoughby from Old School Songs, Grace Darling. But of course, sometimes things don't work out like you plan. But on a long enough time scale, sometimes the tears do turn to laughter. There's Ariel Silver, What Really Matters. I hear you, Ariel. I hear you. I'm looking out the window of my station right now, and this is one of those nights where everything feels like a raw nerve. Storm clouds rolling in, a certain electricity in the air. So here's a song that captures that feeling. It's The Boss from Jersey, from the album Nebraska. State Trooper. No matter how bad things get, hopefully you don't give in to the darkness, like the narrator of that song, State Trooper by Bruce Springsteen. Now I see we got a line lit up on the switchboard. We got another caller. This might be a record for Rat Hour, 3 callers in one show. Hey brother or sister, what can I do for you? Hi there, man. This is the guy with the shorts that called in earlier. I heard the little lady from the 7-Eleven called in, and well, I guess she wasn't too keen on me after all. Really never thought my shorts would be that much of a problem. Well, I'm a little dejected at the moment. I feel like nobody understands me, so I was wondering if I could make a request. Shoot, brother. What do you want?
Well, it's maybe a cliche, but how about Behind Blue Eyes by The Who? We can do that, man. Here it is. From Who's Next? Classic, Behind Blue Eyes. No one knows what it's like, Mr. Shorts. Well, sounds like Mr. Townsend knows. Mr. Space Cowboy knows too. But let's lighten the mood up a little bit. Let's go to a song that's about rising above where people thought you were going to be. When I was a youngin', I wasn't really allowed to listen to the gangsta rap stuff, but I enjoy it. Here's the notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls, with Juicy, from the days when the biggest thing you could aspire to was owning 2 competing video game systems at the same time. And if you don't know, now you know. You know what I know right now? We got yet another caller. Hey, this is Rad Hour. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, I was just calling in because my partner just split up with me too, and I know things didn't work out with Mr. Shorts and Miss 7-Eleven. But you just have to keep moving forward, right? Sometimes change of scenery will do you good.
Yeah, I hear that. And you know who else hears that? Squaloscope. I think we're going to close out the Rad Hour tonight with a song from Squaloscope from the album Soft Invasions. Dephyr. Sometimes you have to change your locale to change your mindset and see things in a different perspective. Take a look at the scenery and not remember what cities are for. Well, time grows short here on the Rad Hour. It's about that time for another hour that probably won't be as rad to begin. But you can meet me right back here next week for another installment. What will we play? Who knows? It's freeform radio at its best. We'll see you again. This is Space Cowboy here on WDAN. The Rad Hour has now passed, but it will return.